thank you for supporting School of Molecular Sciences Innovation Award. Innovation is a trademark of Arizona State University, and we are very grateful that you're contributing our participation in this. Mr. Dave Risley, I don't know if he's here. He is here on behalf, he's here on behalf of his brother, Brian Risley, who is a professor of chemistry and biochemistry at the University of Alaska. And he established this donation, this award, to honor his professor, Ted Brown, who turned around his love for chemistry. Isn't that something so respectful? I really love hearing about this. We want to also want to thank Martin Hudson for his scholarship on the carbon capture and sustainable energy. This is something that we need more than ever in order to reverse impacts of the climate change. Eugene Skibo, on behalf of Edward Skibo Memorial Scholarship, and Scott and Barbara Dow for their generous, valuable gift in laboratory instrumentation that will better our students and help them get a modern approach to laboratory teaching. I want my personal thanks go to Lisa Rubel-Brown, who is always there for School of Molecular Sciences, and she helps us constantly through foundation to find matching donors with School of Molecular Sciences programs. Without further ado, I want to introduce to you our Assistant Director for Graduate Studies, Professor Marcia Levitus.
Thank you, Tiana. Thank you all. You may have noticed that we're doing things a little bit differently this year by switching the order of the awards. We are starting with the Graduates Awards, and that's because I always have a conflict with my teaching, and this is my last year as Associate Director, and I really wanted to be here, even if it's for 10 minutes, to say a few things about our graduate students, which are amazing, and they keep our research going. This year, we got lots of applications for all the Graduates Awards we are going to present. And the Graduate Programs Committee had a really tough job, way more than usual, to choose the winners. The Graduate Programs Committee is Caitlin Sample, who cannot be here today, Wade Van Horn, Pierre Herx, and Scott Cyrus, who is going to present the awards in a few minutes after I go and teach my class. I just want to say that we have many deserving students that couldn't get an award, but we are really proud of everyone's achievements. We all know that our grad students are really at the heart of our unit and keep us moving and learning and producing amazing science. So I need to go and teach my class. I'm going to introduce Scott Cyrus, who is one of the members of the Graduate Programs Committee, and he's going to present the awards to all our students. And I just want to congratulate everyone, undergrads and grads, and instructors and professors, everyone who's getting an award today. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to begin with the graduate award presentations. When I announce the winner, I'm going to ask you to come up, and also the presenter to come up and present the award. We're going to start off with the Leroy Eyring Memorial Fellowship in Chemistry. Okay, so this is awarded to a graduate student who has demonstrated significant contributions in an interdisciplinary approach to research. And so the award winner is Adam Pernia, and this is going to be presented by Professor Dmitry Mayashov. So
So this is Leroy Eyring Award, and Eyring started solid state chemistry at this department a long time ago. This is not something that many of us do these days. But at that time, Nobel Prizes in physics were given for semiconductor physics. And that was the time when solid state chemistry was a fuzzy field between chemistry and physics where new things happened. These days, physics Nobel Prizes are given for looking at molecules pulled with optical tweezers, biomolecules pulled with optical tweezers. And again, understanding functionality of biomolecules is the fuzzy field between physics, biology, and chemistry, where new things happen. And in this regard, this award really fits well to Adam because of his background and his project. He came to ASU in the spring of 22, having the degree in biology, and he decided to join computational slash theoretical group. And the first thing that he had to do is to put his desk in the physics building and start talking to theory graduate students. So you can immediately see that there was a miscommunication at the beginning, and he had to go through a number of classes, both in physics and theoretical chemistry, to actually start talking and communicating to his surroundings. And then came his project, which is also truly interdisciplinary because it involves biochemistry, physics, quantum chemistry, and computations. So about 5 years ago, Kevin Redding, who probably is around somewhere here, resolved the structure of reaction center of Helobacteria, which was a big accomplishment at the moment, but it also turned out to be very complex. When we started to look at it, it was the most complex structure that we ever managed to put in the computer, probably on this campus. And so that was Adam's project. And at the beginning, I had significant doubts that really we would be able to pull it out. And we would not unless he would join the team of Abhishek Singaroy, who is a computational scientist here on SMS. And Adam did the most correct thing that he would possibly could do. He moved his desk now from the physics department to biodesign. And so he started joining the meetings of Abhishek's group and tried to learn all the tricks of computational design of biomolecules. And that took him about a year. And in the end, he managed to put that huge reaction center in the supercomputer. So he managed to run the simulations. And in the end, he confused all of us. Turned out that the experiment was not right, the theory was not right, and everybody had to roll up the sleeves and start working again. I finished my part about last Sunday, updating the theory required to address the challenges that he put together. As far as I know, the experiments in Kevin's group are still going on. So this is the way to move science forward. And I think Adam managed to travel the landscape and be a part of the big game. He truly deserves this award, and I am very grateful to present it to him.
Okay, our second award is going to be the George Wan Memorial Award. This award is given to a graduate student who demonstrates exceptional dedication and performance in both teaching and research. And so the presenter here will be Eileen Seo, our Professor Eileen Seo, sorry, and the awardee is Thalia Gonzalez Calvo. You both could come up and
Right. It is my pleasure to introduce Talia Gonzalez Calvo. She's been a graduate student in SMS since 2022 spring. So I joined a faculty member in 2021 fall, and I got really lucky. In 2022 spring, I was coming back from a meeting, and a few students reached out to me, like, there's a student looking for you who wants to talk to you. I'm like, who is this lady? And then, yeah, she expressed her interest in joining my lab. So she's been in this journey together pretty much in a different career path. But I can really say that I got really lucky because I can also say that she's the future of polymer chemistry. She's been growing a lot and she's published a paper as a second year. She has a journal cover featured already, and she's been a great mentor. So I've been getting really good feedback from students who she's mentored, and not that I asked them, like they reached out to me. So I feel like I have a really great mentor. I've been learning a lot, and I feel like that's a really good sign if a student, like mentees, reaching out to the professor saying that they're really lucky to have a mentor like Talia because they've been learning a lot without any background in polymer chemistry. So she's been a great mentor. She's been a great scientist, and she's still growing. And she's also been taking a lot of like responsibilities in the lab. And I can always trust when I ask Talia to do stuff because she gets things done very fast, very responsibly. So Tim Long, our center director, sometimes tells me my lab is well maintained. It's almost like no one's working in the lab. That's because she's the safety officer. We always keep our lab clean, and it's for other people, right? All of the people who's working in the lab. So I always appreciate her service, and I'm really grateful to have her. I'm looking forward to the growth that she's going to be making for the rest of her graduate research here and more beyond after her PhD. So it's a great pleasure to introduce Talia.
Okay, so our next award is the John Holloway Memorial Scholarship. This is awarded to an outstanding graduate student who carries on research in environmental geochemistry. And so for this award, it's going to go to Jordan Rabar, and it's going to be presented by Professor Everett Schock.
Hello, everybody. John Holloway was truly an innovator. And so it's really appropriate that this award goes to Jordan Robert, who has been an extraordinary innovator in her research. Among other things, she explored the hydrothermal ecosystems of Yellowstone National Park and became acquainted with the microbial communities that live in those systems, and is interrogating the composition of the lipids in their molecules, in their cell walls. In the meantime, she has developed the theoretical means to evaluate what all the chemical energy supplies are that support these microbial communities in these extreme conditions. She followed up on those theoretical developments to produce ways of calculating or estimating the thermodynamic properties of the lipid molecules that she has been extracting from those hot springs. Meanwhile, she has gotten into planetary science and has a whole variety of predictions of ways that you can evaluate whether or not an organic compound that you find somewhere in the solar system is plausibly abiotic or possibly biotic. Ooh, there's a subtle distinction here that all has to do with a thermodynamic analysis of the system. And then somehow, meanwhile, during all of this, she has contributed to an ocean drilling project on an area called the Atlantis Massif, which is just off the mid-Atlantic ridge, where people are exploring the subsurface biosphere of the Earth and trying to understand how the reactions between seawater and rocks that are visiting us from the Earth's upper mantle, but make it up to the seafloor, how that supports life. So she's been into a whole bunch of different things, and so the idea of the Holloway Award with both the innovation and the breadth is extremely appropriate. Thank you.
Okay, our next award is the Glossinger Innovation Award. And this award recognizes a graduate student or a graduate student team for excellence in achieving the SMS mission, which is discovering molecular level solutions to real world challenges through the pursuit of methodology or the development of research ideas or innovation. This award will be delivered to Yusheng Wang and presented by Professor Ji Gao. Unfortunately, neither of them could be here today, so I get to read what Ji Gao has written about his student Yusheng Wang. In the meantime, though, I would like to invite, although they could not be here, our donor here, Bill and Lorna Glossinger, if you want to come up and give a few words while I read this statement, that would be wonderful. If they're, right here. Okay, so sorry. Yu Sheng did a really outstanding research in our group. His work has addressed many fundamental issues in the field of multiplexed RNA imaging. One of his projects is to develop multiplexed RNA isoform imaging technologies. RNA isoforms are generated for almost all the genes with multiple exons in mammals. However, due to their limited sensitivity, the current multiplexed RNA imaging methods are unable to differentiate the varied RNA isoforms from the same gene. It's even more challenging to study RNA isoforms in highly autofluorescent, formalin-fixed, paraffin-embedded FFPE tissues, which are the most abundant archived specimens in clinical tissue banks. Yusheng has developed novel cleavable probes and signal amplification methods, which will enhance the sensitivity of the current multiplexed RNA imaging approaches by at least 4 orders of magnitude. That's a big number. Consequently, Yusheng's approach will, for the first time, enable many individual exons with the size down to 40 base pairs to be visualized together in one FFPE tissue. He will soon submit this work for publication and file a patent through SkySong Innovations. Congratulations, this is a well-deserved award. So let's give them a round of applause, even though they're not here. I should also mention that the recipient will receive an engraved award, but it's not today.
I appreciate the opportunity to say a few words about this award. The only problem is, as a professor, I don't know how to do this in just a few words. But if I can scroll back in time to 1986, like 38 years ago, when I became chair of the Department of Chemistry at that time, through 86 through 89, I had a pretty big group. We had about 30 plus students. They were working on various projects in the department. And one of the projects I became very fond of was a practical one in the area of chemical microsensors. And so during that era when I was chair, we developed the first company at Arizona State University. And at that time, the university knew very little about technology transfer or anything else because we were like really new. Now there's SkySong and, tremendous opportunities for recognizing innovation at the school. But we didn't have that back then, so we had to work through all that. A lot of 100-hour weeks being chairman and CEO of a new company, plus chair of the department. And I would like to say that I think my wife Lorna deserves the Innovation Award more than anybody because she had to manage the home front with her 2 young daughters at the time, and we did a lot of entertaining, both corporate and academic, and she managed that with great style and poise. So she gets my Innovation Award. So we're very happy, Lorna and I, to be able to support the school, I think, in innovation, which is central to the mission of Arizona State University. So thank you very much. And we will continue to do so.
Okay, the next is a set of awards. We have the Outstanding Graduate Research Assistant Award. The first one of those will go to Charlotte Barker, presented by Timothy Long, Professor Timothy Long, sorry.
How do I do this in 20 minutes or less? That's what Tiana said, right? And Charlotte Barker is amazing, right? She's exceptional. You're going to hear a lot about Charlotte Barker in years to come. I can guarantee you that. I first met Charlotte outside the Biodesign Institute underneath the beautiful patio of Building C. And we met over a discussion about the Habitat for Humanity. We both shared a passion for that and how new materials and sustainability could be included in those homes. And we said, hey, could we even 3D print a home for the Habitat for Humanity? And in fact, they have done that, right? They're doing that here in Phoenix. That first discussion with Charlotte was the beginning of a great 3 years together so far. Charlotte is a third-year graduate student pursuing her PhD in chemistry. She got her BS degree in biochemistry. And I just asked her, why did you switch from biochemistry to chemistry? She goes, I just love chemistry, right? That was her answer, right? She's already published in peer-reviewed journals. She's won awards nationally associated with the Adhesion Society. She's won teaching assistant awards. She's got an Intel internship this summer here in Phoenix. She's destined for great things, right? There's just absolutely no doubt in my mind. This award is so suiting to her. Her research, what she pursues is sustainability. How do we make the earth more sustainable? How do we minimize the impact of plastic waste on our environment, our ecosystems, our homes, our backyards, right? How do we do that? Charlotte's first publication was on 3D printing polyesters. And polyesters, you may know, we like to think we always wear cotton, but in fact, we also wear polyester occasionally, right? But she's looking at next generation materials that are 3D printed, but now we have to learn from yesterday's mistakes, right? We're learning that the materials of the future need to be truly circular, right? They need to be sustainable. We need to bring back what we dug out of the earth and bring it back to our ecosystem, right? To our circular economy. So Charlotte's working on polyesters and 3D printing. She's also most recently got into the field of polyolefins together with Ryan Trovich. I think I saw Ryan. Right, we're doing some things with the third largest chemical company in the world. And what she's doing is making polyethylene, like garbage bags, things that we see every day, truly recyclable. Our garbage will become our gold, right? And that's what she's striving to do. She's working in catalysis in partnership with Ryan. Ryan's one of the best catalysis guys I know. He's outstandingly good. But we're sticking those into polymeric structures, into plastics, right, that are historically non-recyclable. So now Charlotte is going to truly change the world, I have no doubt, right? She's coming up with next generation materials that aren't going to be around forever, right? We're not going to leave that legacy. Charlotte also is truly engaging outside the research lab. She mentors undergraduates. In fact, we're going to hear from a student, Timothy, in just a little while, right? But she takes that leadership role seriously, right? She passes the baton, and she's a mentor, which is a really critical aspect for any graduate student, right? And she's doing all kinds of things in our community from high school outreach to just being a true representative of ASU and the Biodesign Institute and the School for Molecular Sciences. So she's deserving. I think I'm excited for her. And we got 2 more years of her, maybe 5 more if she's not good. But let's give her a big round of applause and congratulate Charlotte Parker. All right.
Okay, our next Outstanding Graduate Research Assistant Award goes to Jiao Chen, who is one of Professor Audrey Lapinette's students who could not be here today. So instead, she has selected Professor Tiana Raj to come and present her the award.
So congratulations, Xiao Yu. It's a great honor to have you receive this award. I'm going to read what Professor Audrey Lapinette has wrote for your nomination. I'm pleased to nominate Xiao Yu Lydia Chen for an Outstanding Graduate Student Award. Her contributions to research of our group have been remarkable, especially they relate to development of safer precision genome editing tools. Jiao has transferred to my lab in the summer of 2021, and in a short period of 2.5 years, She showed continuous growth in her research efforts. Her thesis focused on elucidating the molecular mechanism of current CRISPR-based DNA adenine-based editors. She was already presenting her work in a poster presentation format at two international conferences, the Aminase 2023 and 2024, and at the local retreat of Biodesign Institute Fusion in 2023. She's a co-first author on the review article published in 2023, Biochemical Society Transactions, and on a research publication, Biophysical Origins of CRISPR-based DNA adenine-based editors, Improved Editing Efficiency. Xiaoyu has generated most of the preliminary data used to support our recent R01 application for our lab, which is currently under review. Her exceptional dedication and performance in research make her a deserving candidate for this award, and she has my strongest support. Congratulations.
Our next Outstanding Graduate Research Award is awarded to Lu Yu, and this is presented by Professor Hao Yan.
It's a great pleasure to present this award to Lu Yu, a fifth-year graduate student in my lab. And one of the major challenge in nanomedicine, including the delivery of macromolecules like siRNA, mRNA vaccines, is that most of them got trapped by the endosome. So they cannot be delivered to the intracellular cytoplasma to be more effective. So Lu took on the project and solved the problem by developing a DNA nano device called CytoDirect. You can just imagine from the name, it goes directly to the cytosol and solve the challenge. So it took her several years to develop this project, and in collaboration with Nick Stephanopoulos' lab and Peter Soak's lab. She is really intelligent and hardworking, has the drive, and also is collaborative. And she is a good mentor to the junior students. And now she's ready to take the next steps. She received postdoc offers from Yale, University of Washington, Seattle, and after we discussed, and encouraged her to abandon Yale and go to UW to take the next steps. I think she will have a very bright future. I'm very proud of you. Congratulations.
So our next Outstanding Graduate Student Award is going to be presented to Abe Prasad, also presented by Professor Hao Yan.
All right, very proud again to present another award to my fourth-year graduate student, Abe. Abe is really highly creative. Just tell you an example. She participated, and I always train the students to write proposals, just getting them ready for the next, becoming future faculty when they write their own independent proposals, right? So he led a NIGMS R01 proposal. And for the first submission, the proposal received the 9th percentile. So we'll have a high hope that this will be funded. If not, I will move to another country. Abe also has very strong experimental skills in terms of making the chemistry to work. So he works on a project I call this approach gene tech. The idea is to use DNA as a scaffold to organize ligands that can be used to deliver into the cell and to degrade those unwanted proteins, right? So those undruggable targets. So he succeeded. Like we are almost ready to publish the paper with his name on it. And we're also trying to address another significant challenge in intracellular medicine, which is the specificity, right? I talked about Louis' work, right? The idea is to go into the cytoplasm. The next step, once it's inside of the cytoplasm, how can we make it specific? Only can be triggered, activated by the, for example, the oncogene inside of the cell, by some chemicals inside of the cells. That's what Abe is working on. He's a leader in this project, also very collaborative. I think he will also have a very bright future. Congratulations.
Okay, our final Outstanding Graduate Research Assistant Award is going to Tullio Grassi, and he is a graduate student in Alexander Navrosky's lab. Neither of them could be here today, so I get to say a few words because they're not in attendance and they don't know that I'm saying this. But I know Tullio, he's a fourth-year graduate student, and he's part of the materials of the universe. He works very hard in thermodynamics. He is central to a lot of projects, and I know he's begun several projects in the Navrosky group, so he is, I want to say, everywhere in the physical sciences building. Many of you see him all around because he's doing a lot of things with thermodynamics. Okay. Our next award is the John Kakoyanakis Award, also known as the COCO Award. This is the award given to an outstanding graduate student carrying out research in analytical chemistry, and this award will go to a Laura Bonatti and is presented by me. So, Laura, are you also not in attendance? So this is going to conclude the graduate awards, but we have many more undergraduate awards coming on. And so I'd like to invite at this time Professor Chad Borges to take over the announcing.
Thanks, Scott. So as Professor Rai mentioned earlier today, our beloved friend and colleague, Dr. Barbara Monk, passed away unexpectedly about a month ago. So the first award I'm going to present today is the Barbara Monk Outstanding Service Award. Of course, it's new this year and will be presented on an annual basis to an SMS staff or administration member in recognition of their continued selfless service to SMS and their colleagues. So this year, the award, I think fittingly, is being made posthumously to Dr. Barbara Monk. So I had a few words to say about Barb, as many of her family and friends called her. Barb ran and was responsible for an innumerable number of operations and tasks within the School of Molecular Sciences. She was the go-to person whenever anyone had a question that required institutional knowledge. Many of you know this, of course. She knew how things worked and who could help you get something done if it wasn't actually Barb herself, which of course it often was. Barb was also a great friend who understood and could sympathize with the frustrations that come along as part of being involved in the administration of one of the cogs in a much larger bureaucratic system. She was also the perfect wing woman on any conference call, say with upper administration. She could always read between the lines as things were moving along, see where things were going, and anticipate information that might be needed, and was always able to pull it up somehow amazingly quick and have it ready in an instant, covering your flank in the nick of time. So Barb is irreplaceable, and we miss her immensely. So at this time, I would like to invite Barb's husband, Dr. Stephen Monk, up to the stage to accept the award on Barb's behalf and to say a few words.
Thanks, Chad. Certainly an honor to be here to accept the award for Barbara. family and I are truly grateful for the recognition and thoughtfulness that SMS has shown to her memory. She's only back at ASU for 6 years after being dragged around the country for decades following my career aspirations. The reality is I should have been following her rather than her following me. But it's no surprise that she is noted for being the go-to person whenever anyone had a question that required institutional knowledge. After just 6 years back at ASU, it did not matter where she was or what she did, she always totally immersed herself in whatever the task was. From inventing and patenting fresh step cat litter at Clorox a couple of years out of ASU with a bachelor's degree in chemistry, to managing clinical research programs at Pfizer, and ultimately returning to academia, earning a PhD in theoretical chemistry, following 25 years in industry. Her subsequent academic career, I think, was stellar as well. She excelled. She always exceeded expectations, both at Wayne State, where she was before following me again, to Arizona State again. She loved ASU, the students, the staff, the faculty, and loved getting things done. She was really a force of nature. I thank you on her behalf for this honor.
Thank you, Steve, for those heartfelt words. So we're now going to move into the undergraduate scholarships presentation portion of the ceremony. And the first one of these is the Martin Hudson Scholarship for Carbon Capture and Sustainable Energy. So this scholarship was set up by ASU graduate Martin Hudson to support young scientists with an interest in working in the area of sustainable energy and carbon capture, as evidenced mainly by their research activities. So Mr. Hudson created this scholarship to ensure that our creative junior and senior students who have an interest in the sustainability of our planet have the resources they need to participate in undergraduate research in carbon capture and sustainable energy production. So our winner this year is Mr. Zachary LaBrake, and this award will be presented by Scott Sayers. So if the two of you could please come up. I would also like to invite to the stage at this time Martin Hudson to say a few words and take a picture with the winner and presenter.
So I'm back. Okay, so I want to say Zach works with Professor Wim Vermaas over at the School of Life Sciences, I believe, who had these words to say. He's very capable, great researcher, original thinker, and has a very bright career ahead of him. But I also know Zach, and so I'm going to say a few more words. I'm going to say that Zach, as far as I know, moved here in 2022 and has maintained a 4.0 plus GPA. He's one of our best outstanding students. He was in my physical chemistry class, did a fantastic job. He's one of the most mature students I know of. But I want to say he doesn't just pretend to care about the earth and carbon footprint and things, but I know that he also likes to work every single day, is an avid vegetarian. He really walks the walk, so he's the perfect recipient for this. I think he's well-deserving. Congratulations, and I think we're all expecting you to move into the PhD program somewhere for continuing this. So congratulations, Zach.
Hi, just a quick few words. Thanks ASU for allowing this to happen. I don't work in academia, so I have to live out in the real world. And with the 24/7 news cycle covering climate change and pandemics and 2 active hot wars and even people wondering if the Earth will survive a 30-minute shadow, sometimes it's easy to get a little, depressed and not too hopeful. But then I remember the words of a famous philosopher, well, busted. Actually, it's just a line from the movie The Shawshank Redemption. But Andy writes a letter where he says, remember, hope is a good thing and maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. So coming here today, listening to all the stories of people doing fundamental research to help the planet and other applications where they're starting from, well, in my mind, my naive mind, organic stuff that needs sunlight and water instead of, intrusive strip mining or extraction, fills me with hope. And so that gives me another probably 5 years of hope that won't die. So thank you, ASU, and thanks mostly to people like Zach and everybody here who's helping us in our future.
So our next scholarship presentation is the George M. Bateman Memorial Scholarship. Dr. Bateman was the first faculty member with a doctoral degree at Arizona State Teachers College, back when it was named that. He was instrumental in the development of multiple physical science departments. And in fact, as many of you know, the Bateman Physical Sciences building is named after him. The George M. Bateman Memorial Scholarship is awarded annually to an excellent Arizona resident student in their first year in college studying chemistry, biochemistry, or biophysics. So this year's winner was Joshua Soto. He is not able to attend, so we'll just announce his name and move forward. So the next scholarship on our list to announce is the Thorold Muller Scholarship. Emeritus Professor Thorold Muller was a past chair and of the former chemistry department. He was instrumental in advancing inorganic chemistry as a discipline at the national level. And this scholarship was established in honor of Professor Muller to support a student in the School of Molecular Sciences. This year's winner is Mr. Ronald Johnson and will be presented by Professor Peter Williams. Coming up.
Well, it's my great pleasure to present this award to Ron Johnson. Thorold Muller was a faculty member here. He was a department chair from 1969 to 1975. I'm not sure, but I think he succeeded Leroy Eyring, and he moved here from the University of Illinois. Thorold retired shortly after I arrived at ASU. I'm not sure there's any connection with that, but I hope not. Ron is a student in my instrumental chemistry class this semester. He's obviously doing excellently. He's been a regular resident on the dean's list since he got to ASU, and he says that he started off interested in medicine, and then he fell in love with freshman chemistry. I love that. So freshman chemistry instructors, wherever you are, you did well. And that led him to change his career goals. But being Ron, he didn't just change his career goal to studying chemistry. He decided to do a double major. So he's majoring also in chemical engineering, to which I would respond, wow. I mean, that's okay. He makes the comment that I like, that he likes the fact that chemistry covers topics like physical chemistry and thermodynamics. The chemical engineering glosses over. Anyway, Ron is interested in issues like sustainability, and his career goal is not to go to graduate school, but to, when he graduates, to go immediately into industry where he feels he can start to make a difference as soon as possible. So it's my great pleasure and honor to present this award to Ron, and congratulations.
Professor Williams, Ron. So our next scholarship to be presented is the Wayne W. Lushinger Chemistry Scholarship. Emeritus Professor Wayne Lushinger established this scholarship to support an undergraduate student that's majoring in chemistry or biochemistry in the School of Molecular Sciences. The GI Bill provided Dr. Lushinger with support to go to college, and this scholarship is generally given to veterans in one of the U.S. military branches. So our winner this year is Aaron Delaney, who is not able to attend, unfortunately. I'm sure this will be very much appreciated. Next scholarship is the John Holloway Undergraduate Scholarship. This was established in honor, again, of Emeritus Professor, this time Dr. John Holloway. He came to ASU as part of an effort to combine the research fields of chemistry and geology. He ended up becoming a famous experimental petrologist. So this scholarship is awarded to a student pursuing a degree in the School of Molecular Sciences. Preference is given to students demonstrating aptitude to make significant contributions in a science or technology career. And this year's winner is Cameron Cochran, who unfortunately is not able to attend. But again, I'm sure he's very grateful as well. So the next scholarship on our list is the Edward B. Skibo Memorial Scholarship. So this scholarship was established in honor of ASU chemistry professor Edward Skibo to create a permanent legacy of his research and teaching contributions to medicinal and to organic chemistry. It's awarded annually to an outstanding undergraduate student with an interest in a career in organic or medicinal chemistry. So this year's winner is Parth Bandari, and the award will be presented by Professor Judith Klein Sitharaman. And I would also like to invite at this time Yujung Skibo up to the stage to say a few words and take a picture with our winner and presenter. Please come on up.
Hi, I'm very glad that the last two winners were not here because I Googled how many words are for 1 to 2 minute speech, 250. So right now I have 265. So it's my great honor to present the Edward B. Skibo Memorial Scholarship for Parth Bandari. He's currently enrolled in my BCH 341 course, Physical Chemistry with a Biological Focus. As many of you know, this is a really challenging and difficult class, and Parth's performance is amazing. Besides excellent grades, of course, I can always count on him to participate in the class and ask intelligent questions, and it's making it actually fun for me to teach with a student like him. The end of the semester is near, so we haven't appointed grades yet, but I think we can all guess what he's going to get. Hint, his GPA is 4.0. So Parth also works on research on snake venoms with me. He completely designed this project by himself and identified targets and potential antivenoms from the literature. And so with me, he's docking them, and we are now moving beyond the original scope to protein-protein interaction prediction. His project is taking a much more advanced direction than we anticipated originally and demonstrates Parth's creativity and ingenuity and drive to solve real-world problems. Parth's CV is really mind-boggling. He has worked as mRNA process engineer intern at Metagenomi. He's been a lab aide in an environmental metals testing lab, and he's also worked at the Cooper Biology Education Lab. And in this particular research experience, he has actually just got a paper published in CBE Life Sciences Education on LGBTQ individuals in STEM fields. So this is really amazing work that's published, and it's really unusual for undergraduate students to get their work recognized in this way. But he's also presented it on a number of occasions at conferences. So his list of skills is very long, really unprecedented for someone at his stage in the career, ranging from experimental techniques in biology, chemistry, physics, and even coding and statistical analysis. So besides an incredible technical expertise, he finds time to be leader in community service as a co-president of OSTEM, organizing many outreach events. And last but not least, he's a volunteer at Dignity St. Joe's Hospital, where he's shadowing doctors and donating his time to patient care. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank Scholarship Committee for arranging this wonderful annual event. We are delighted to be here today in person. Establishing the Memorial Scholarship in honor of my late husband, Edward Skibo, was one of the most meaningful endeavor of the Skibo family. And we thank you, Scholarship Committee, for encouraging me to do so. I can still imagine Edward's excitement, his light step, walking down the steps of Beckman Building after running his research group, and also his dedication in his cancer research to develop a novel agent. He once said, "Wouldn't it be so nice if we can cure cancer by just taking a pill a day, just like aspirin relieves fever?" In fact, that dream is not a dream anymore. It's currently reality when precisely targeted oral therapy can cure a certain form of cancer. I understand that there are many other applications of bio, organic, or medicinal chemistry, not just cancer therapy, but also many other indispensable fields to improve human health and quality of life. That's where the aspiring, brilliant group of the award recipients in this room is coming in. Building upon the foundation of knowledge created by the previous generation of researchers, just like Edward, you will surely surpass their achievement and advance humanity toward a cancer-free, healthier society. We thank you for your hard work in advance, and we Skibo family will continue to watch you, support you, and follow up on your scientific path. Thank you.
Very good. So the next scholarship to be presented is the Ted Brown Memorial Scholarship. This was established in honor of Emeritus Professor Ted Brown and is awarded to a first-generation undergraduate student. This year's winner is Dalavai Surveyor. I will be presenting this award, and I would also like to invite up to the stage at this time David Rasley to say a few words and take a picture with us.
Delighted to be here today and representing my brother. He's busy today. He's the chemistry department head at the University of Alaska. But I live here
And wanted you to know we support ASU greatly. I've got two brothers, and we're all ASU grads, undergrad degrees. And my other brother works as a lawyer for a very big firm that does wind and solar, which ties in with a bunch of the environmental aspects. So just wanted you to know that we appreciate this every year opportunity to give people a amount of scholarship money. And I know my brother has it in mind to make sure that this scholarship is fully endowed, probably within 5 to 10 years for sure. We also have a ASU baseball scholarship that we're working on as well. And just appreciate everybody being here today, and thank you for the support of education. My mom and dad are kind of long gone, but they were huge education people, and that's why we feel like it's important to give back. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Here we go. So next, we'll be presenting the School of Molecular Sciences scholarships. So these scholarships support outstanding students completing degrees in chemistry or biochemistry in the School of Molecular Sciences. There are 2 winners this year, and these awards will be presented separately by different SMS faculty members. The first winner that I would like to invite up to the stage is Jay Chavon, and this award will be presented by Yuval Mazer, Professor Yuval Mazer. Come on up.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, as I was sitting there preparing my what I was going to say, I wasn't sure. I realized I don't really know Jay that well. He's been doing a research project in my lab over the past 4 months, but I know the important stuff. You know, I know he's very smart. I know he's hardworking. I know I see him in the lab every day and every evening. I know that a month into his project, he asked me to do more. And I think it's great that he received this scholarship, and I'm sure he's going to do very well.
The second SMS Sciences Scholarship will be presented by Professor Scott Sayers, and the winner is Haley Nelson. Please come on up.
Okay. It is my great pleasure to present this award to Haley. She is an undergraduate student that joined my lab at the end of last semester, so she's been with me for only about 6 months or so, but I've gotten to know her very quickly. She joined in the lab, and she immediately took off with the project. So in my lab, we do ultrafast laser spectroscopy. In other words, we shoot things with lasers and try and study their properties. We started a new project where we're studying fuels, alcohols, and we studied all of these different size fuels, and we had a mountain of data sitting in front of us, and this got to be a little overwhelming. And Haley joined in and immediately started analyzing, starting to figure out what this data meant. And so we learned about not an organic chemistry, but a chemist, but we learned that there's things called like Norsch type 2 reactions and McLafferty rearrangements. And so Haley was helping us. She helped us figure out what a lot of these things meant. And we'll have a paper here very soon that we're getting ready to submit on this. So this is a huge advancement for us for understanding these things. But I have to say, Haley's one of the most driven students I've ever met. I thought that professors were busy until I learned that I think she took 22 credits last semester, which is 23 credits last semester, which is a lot of credits. On top of that, did research in an astronomy lab and approached me and said, I want to do research in ultrafast chemistry as well. So she is all over the place. She also, even more, works at the Arizona Science Center, donates a lot of time to outreach, has developed all of these different modules to hand out to students and help them learn about science from all ages, and is the recipient of a NASA Psyche mission scholarship, I think, for this summer as well. But this one is highly earned. Congratulations, Haley. Very proud.
that's a lot of credits taken one semester. That's impressive, Haley. Our next scholarship is the SMS Women in Molecular Science Scholarship. The scholarship is awarded to outstanding students who express an interest in helping to increase the success and representation of women in all areas of chemistry and biochemistry. And again, we will have 2 award winners this year. The first winner is Allison Marie Byrne, and her award will be presented by Professor Jason Cowery. He's coming up.
Hi, everyone. I'm really thrilled to present an award for Marie Byrne as an award for Women in Molecular Sciences. I also think it's especially great that she's getting an award for molecular sciences when she does solid state chemistry with us and no molecules to speak of at all. Anyway, I first met Marie last semester when I was just starting out my career here as an assistant professor, and I didn't even have a lab yet. So I thought to myself, oh, what am I going to do? What can I take undergrads to do even? But she came in, she was like, this is my plan. This is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to do it. This is when I'm available. And I was like, yeah, this could work out. So she helped us out, set up some equipment. And in the past couple of months, she's been doing experiments with my graduate student, and they have samples ready, and we're going to be doing other stuff. And she's great to work with. She likes to learn. She likes asking questions, and I'm thrilled so far. And I'm really excited to see what you do in the future. Congrats, Marie.
Our second winner of this scholarship is Leslie Bustamante Hernandez, and this award will be presented by a faculty member outside of SMS, Professor Esther Borges Florsheim. He's coming up.
Thank you very much for the invitation and for the award. I think we are all very grateful that we have incredible students. Mine is even difficult I have 2 parts actually. I'm gonna give my speech in 2 parts because she got 2 awards, so you're gonna see us again at the end. So I'm gonna start and then we finish at the end. So Leslie started in my lab. I run an immunology lab at Biodesign Institute. I'm from the School of non-molecular science. I'm an outsider of School of Life Sciences. And Leslie came to look to work in my lab, and I was uncertain because she was a first year. We don't usually take first year students because they need to have taken a lot of bio courses, including immunology, which usually is only pre-med students who take on their 4th year. But Leslie was pretty insistent and came with amazing recommendations already as a freshman. I don't know how. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a chance. We did like a 1-month trial. The whole group adored her, and obviously she stayed and she's still in my lab. And she was very interested in answering a question that's driving her project, which is she's very curious about how inflammation affects behavior. So when we get sick from cold or flu, we have typical symptoms of behavioral changes, like we get very sleepy, anorexia, antisocial, and so forth. So the immune system clearly affects our brain. And Leslie is very interested in that, specifically in different types of inflammatory responses, not infectious diseases only, but also allergic inflammation, gut inflammation, chronic inflammation, and so forth. So I'm going to continue my speech on the next one. I'm very honored to have to give this award to Leslie. Congratulations to her family. Congratulations to her mama, hermana, and congratulations.
Our next scholarship is the SMS First Generation Scholarship, which is meant to support outstanding first-generation undergraduate students who are completing degrees in chemistry or biochemistry in the School of Molecular Sciences. Our winner this year, Brian Lee, unfortunately could not make it, so we'll just have to move on. The next scholarship is the SMS Veteran Scholarship, This scholarship supports outstanding military veteran or children of military veterans who are pursuing an undergraduate degree in chemistry or biochemistry in the School of Molecular Sciences. This year's winner is Neil Sisko, and I'll be presenting the award. Come on up, Neil. So our final scholarship to give away this afternoon is the Arizona Society for Coatings Technology Scholarship. This scholarship, or the society, is comprised of representatives from the paint and coatings industry, as you can imagine. The scholarship supports students with the potential to make a positive impact on these industries in Arizona. So in addition to the monetary award, the recipient will be granted a student membership in the Arizona Society for Coatings Technology for the award year. This year's winner is Cristobal Moreno, and the award will be presented by Professor Timothy Long.
Well, we all know the importance of undergraduate research, right? I think it's usually the first step for any of us, right, to get into science. Unfortunately, in SMS, we have that spirit. When I met Cristobal the first time, he said, hey, I want to do undergraduate research. I go, I don't know you. He goes, but I'm passionate about it. I want to go to graduate school. I want to do synthetic organic chemistry. I'm like, okay, we'll find a spot for you, right, in our lab, right? He is a double major in biochemistry and psychology, and I'm a chemistry professor, and he's working for me. So he speaks many different languages, right, is what it takes, right, these days to be innovators, right, to make a difference, to tackle big challenges in the world. I also want to thank the society. What's a coating? We don't sugar coatings, we sugarcoat things, right? But a coating is something we often don't recognize as being important, but it may keep a biomedical device, safe within our human body. It may let our chairs that we're sitting on last a little bit longer. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry in this country, right? And Cristobal is fortunate enough to get support from a great society who's nurturing that kind of next generation researcher. I also wanted to give a big shout out to Cristobal's family who's here. If they could just raise their hands. They have their cameras up, but they're in the back, right? Give them a little round of applause, right? Yeah. I mean, there's nothing more important than family and parents to help, catalyze students to do things that they do, right? So it's so important. Cristobal's working on the photoreversibility of polymeric coatings. So he's doing a lot of 2+2 cyclodimerizations of maleic anhydride. He's generating bis imids that can be incorporated into, semiconductor industry, our iPhones. It could be included into coatings that are completely photoreversible. So there's an element of sustainability, right? We can reverse a coating. It's not there forever. And by a simple shining of light on a structure, we can reverse that molecular structure and remove and reuse like a lot of that molecule. So Cristobal, I asked him, what's your favorite memory about being in the lab for the past 2 semesters? He came the first semester and got credit. This current semester, he's just volunteering, but I think he's doing more work volunteering than, than he did when he did credits, right? So I don't understand it. But anyways, he's just an amazing student, really fortunate to have him. And behind every good undergrad is a good graduate student mentor. And Jose Cintas in the back of the room certainly filled that role very, very well. So on behalf of all the faculty, Cristobal, congratulations. Stay with me for another year until you go to graduate school, and we'll do some great things together. So thank you, Cristobal. Yep.
Right, so that concludes the scholarships presentation section of our award ceremony. We're going to move into the actual awards portion of the ceremony. The first one of these is the Distinguished Chemistry Merit Award, and this is presented to a graduating senior in recognition of an outstanding academic record in a chemistry degree. And this year's winner is William Prater, and the award will be presented by Professor Scott Sayers.
So, it's my great honor to give this award to Will, who has been working in my group almost 2 years. Came to my physical chemistry. I teach quantum mechanics. He showed up to this class and he asked me maybe the hardest questions I've ever been asked. I think no one has ever stumped me in that class before except maybe Will. And I'll get back to you tomorrow, this kind of thing. And of course, he held me to it. He came up and, what about this? And asked even harder questions. So this became a pattern with Will. And so I eventually talked him into maybe you should do some research. And he jumped in wholeheartedly. But before I let him into the group, I asked him, I said, what do you want to do in life? I want to become a medical doctor. And I thought, that's exactly not what we do. So for those of you that know anything about my research, this is quite far from my world, but Will jumped in and took over a project. He started studying different metal oxides and started studying some sort of photocatalytic behavior of cobalt oxides, and this is leading to a publication. Will's a fantastic student, one of the hardest working that I know. I will say that he's been accepted to several graduate programs right now. I hope he hasn't, selected one yet because I'm still trying to convince him to stay here at ASU. But congratulations, Will. Much earned.
So to follow up the Distinguished Chemistry Merit Award, we are going to next present the Distinguished Biochemistry Merit Award. This is, of course, presented to a graduating senior in recognition of an outstanding academic record in a biochemistry degree. This year's winner is Michael Luca, and it will be presented by Professor Hao Yan.
All right, Michael. He took my biochemistry class, general biochemistry, BCH 061. He always sit in the back, looks like the type of a student who already figured out everything before I even teach the material. He received A+, and then after the class, he approached me. He wanted to do some research in the lab. We talked about it, and I took him to, took him on for a project working on using DNA nanotechnology to enable innate immunotherapy. So he always come to the lab almost every day, even during the summer and winter breaks. It's very hardworking, has the drive and intelligent, understand the material, understand the concept and the system, and also was liked by everybody in the lab. He's also very good at the baking mochi, very tasty mochi. And he got like A+ from the class and a 4.0 GPA. Very talented students. His parents is here and proud of raising the great kid. Last but not the least, quoting from Mark Twain for your future, don't let college interfere your education. And don't let your professor interfere your thinking. Think big and think outside of the box, so you will have a bright future. Congratulations.
Our next award is the Student Association of the American Chemical Society, or SACS, Organic Achievement Award. This is given to a student in organic chemistry who has demonstrated outstanding skills and great promise for future achievements. This year's winner is Jonathan Carrillo Lopez, and it will be presented by Professor Nick Stephanopoulos.
Great, so it's my pleasure to present this award to Jonathan today. So Jonathan was first in my introductory organic chemistry class in 2018. And at the end of the class, he wrote me an email saying that he was going to get a C, but because he wanted to retake the class and replace the grade, could I actually give him a D instead? Now, as a chemistry professor with a bunch of pre-meds, you're used to getting requests for higher grades, but this is literally the only time in my career I've gotten someone asking me if I could lower their grade. Now, I actually went and found the email, so don't worry, I didn't break any rules. I sent it to the SMS advising office, and so I played by the rules, so I'm not incriminating myself. But Jonathan retook the class this past semester and was one of the best students in the class. And by that, I mean he got an A+ and was in the top 20 students with over 100% on the total score. And that means he had to answer a good portion of my extra credit questions, which are about the level of for a second or third year graduate student in organic chemistry. Very challenging, very tricky, very few students get them. In addition, he's one of those students that makes being a professor an absolute joy. He's friendly, he's enthusiastic, he's kind, he has a great attitude. He comes to all the office hours, he asks good questions in lecture, and most importantly, he laughs at my jokes. So he says he wants to become a doctor so that he can help humanity, and I think that really matches with his personality. And so it really is my honor to present this award to Jonathan.
So next we are going to move into presenting the very prestigious Dean's Medalist Awards winners. We're going to present two medalist winners. The first one is for the fall of 2023. This award is given to outstanding students who have demonstrated a steadfast commitment to academic excellence at ASU. And just so you know, SMS gets to nominate just one student per semester that has to be approved by the Dean's office in order for the medal to actually be awarded. So this is a pretty major achievement. So starting with the fall 2023 winner, that winner was Rachel Einecker, and this award will be presented by Professor Hillary Hartnett.
Hi, everybody. It is my great pleasure to be able to tell you a little bit about Rachel today. I first heard from Rachel in one of those cold emails in like April of 2022 that many professors will just kind of let wander off into the depths of their inbox. And I will say blind good luck, I responded, sure, great, I'd be happy to talk to you about your thesis. Rachel asked me if I would be her thesis director for an honors thesis related to environmental chemistry, and she is one of our chemistry majors with the environmental concentration. And I will say that Rachel is a true interdisciplinarian. She is interested in biology, she is interested in earth sciences, she's interested in chemistry, and more surprising than anything else, she really loves math. And so this is a fantastic combination for someone who wants to work on a thesis that involves many different types of data from a complex environment for which there isn't any known answer to begin with, and wrote a beautiful thesis combining several different data streams about a complex environment, a wetland in Massachusetts, which was done in part with the USGS. And on top of all of the fantastic science that she does, Rachel is a delightful person. She really is interested in how does she take chemistry and make it relevant for people? What is the role that chemistry can play in making the environment a better place? And so I can think of no more deserving person for the Dean's Medalist than Rachel. And I haven't seen her since she graduated in the fall, so it's also really nice to see you. Congratulations. Here's the award.
So our spring 2024 Dean's Medalist is Riley James, and Riley will be presented with this award by Professor Christina Burkle.
Hello, everybody. Very happy to be here and present this phenomenal award. I want to start by saying it is not hard to join my group as an undergraduate researcher. Bear with me. So I like to support undergraduate research. It is what got me into science and really enjoying it many, many years ago. And we're trying to accommodate as many undergraduate researchers as we can in my group. And we're a solid state chemistry group, so we even accept biochemistry students. So this is how far we go. And we turn some of them onto the good side of science. Just joking. So Riley joined our group after the summer of 2022. And she was actually sent my way by Scott Sayers, who was her physical chemistry teacher. And she wanted to do materials. And he was kind enough to point her my way. And she's done fantastic work since then. It's actually my second time that I'm allowed to present an award to Riley. We were both here a year ago. And I said that she got bored working on just one research project, so I gave her a second. And she has really enriched our science. She's synthesizing layered oxides, she's synthesizing layered carbides, she's diving into the world of two-dimensional materials by exfoliating them, and she's done some fantastic job and earned some co-ownership on some papers that are ready to submit. And the really hard part starts when you're actually part of my group, because I'm really hands-off. So I have a fantastic team that is great mentor for Riley, but she was really, really independent, learning fast and really pushing her science forward. She took my grad level class in the fall as an undergraduate researcher. She was one of the best students in the class, I have to say. She asked very, very intelligent questions. It was fun having her around. So from a scholarly perspective, she's extremely good and very well set off to do great things. But going a step further, what really, really impresses me about her is that she applies herself, even outside of my lab, outside of our group. She has won 2 scholarships to do her research abroad. Actually in Germany, she has joined 2 different labs in Germany over the last 2 years, which takes a lot of courage, obviously, to go into a different country and do research there, learn about other fields of sciences. And she has also gone to a conference in Las Vegas last fall, presented her research there, and she has presented her research at a winter school. So if you ask me, she's already carrying herself like a very successful graduate student. And remember, she's only an undergraduate student at this point. So she's more than deserving of this award. It's my great pleasure to present it to her, and thank you so much for joining our group.
Congratulations again, Riley and Rachel. Well done. So the next award is the American Chemical Society Division of Analytical Chemistry Undergraduate Award. This award honors a student who exhibits exceptional promise for a career in a field that's related to analytical chemistry. And I'm pleased to see this award going to Ian Peterson this year, who was recently in my analytical chemistry class this last semester. This award will be presented by Professor Gary Moore. Coming up.
It's a pleasure for me to present this award from the American Chemical Society Division of Analytical Chemistry to Ian Peterson. Ian's undergraduate research in our laboratories that focuses on contributing to the fundamental sciences that are required to convert sunlight, water, and air to non-fossil-based fuels. His research is biologically inspired and use-inspired. That is, that the materials Ian's developing are inspired by the process of photosynthesis, which uses sunlight to produce the fuels we eat, and ultimately on longer geological timescales, the fossil-based fuels that power our modern economies. It's also use-inspired in that the solar fuels that Ian has helped develop provide an alternative for their fossil-based counterparts. This can include the chemistries of converting water to hydrogen, but also taking CO2 from air, a greenhouse gas and environmental pollutant, and converting that to fuels or other value-added products. I can share with you a story about Ian that I had the opportunity to tell to our university president, Michael Crow, and our executive vice president, Sally Morton. We had a piece of equipment in the laboratory that had broke, and the graduate students were looking for an alternate part. With supply chain demands, there were back orders. And Ian took it upon himself to go to the ASU library. He checked out a 3D printer, printed the part over lunch, came back, and was back at his experiments later that day. Ian, this is a pleasure. I look forward to everything you'll achieve at ASU and beyond.
The next ACS award is for the Division of Inorganic Chemistry. And this award recognizes excellence exhibited by inorganic chemistry students. And our winner this year is Jesse Parr, and the award will be presented by Professor Ryan Trovich.
Well, it's my pleasure to introduce this year's ACS award, or to introduce Jesse Parr with this year's ACS award in inorganic chemistry. This award nomination came from my inorganic teaching colleagues and I, and it's meant to highlight excellence in both the lecture and the laboratory sections of the course. Throughout the semester, and I've been teaching the lab section, Jesse has demonstrated really a lot of motivation, reliability. He's been a great lab partner, turned in high quality assignments throughout the semester. And in addition to that, I would say that we do a lot of difficult, challenging, for those of you in the room who have been in the lab, challenging experiments, and Jesse has had no problem just breezing right through those. So congratulations, Jesse, on this accomplishment.
Now we'll move on to the American Chemical Society Division of Organic Chemistry Undergraduate Award, which is given to a student in organic chemistry who has demonstrated outstanding skills and has great promise for future achievements in organic chemistry. And you guys already know who you are, obviously. So this award is presented to Charles Howell by Professor Schock.
Hello again. Despite what's known about me, I actually did once take a semester of organic chemistry. Anyway, one of the things we do is try to understand how the Earth does organic chemistry, which I can assure you is a little differently than how organic chemistry is done in laboratories and industry. Charles joined us first as a volunteer and then got deeply involved into research and started doing experiments of his own design, which he has been pursuing for the last couple of years. And currently that means he's giving a talk. It's true. despite that, despite that interesting event, I'm sure it had something to do with a volume change. But anyway, Charles will be giving a talk next month at the Astrobiological Science Conference in Rhode Island. And it's really a pleasure to recognize his experimental successes in our research group. Thank you.
So the last but not least American Chemical Society Award is from the Division of Physical Chemistry. This award recognizes excellence exhibited by a physical chemistry student. And this year's winner is Madison Sobel and will be presented by Professor Scott Sayers.
Okay, so it is my great pleasure to give this award to Maddie, who has joined my group about 2 years ago. Maddie has started a project in my lab. We started looking at copper oxide clusters, which I thought we were studying because we thought they were really fun electronic properties and we were studying all the physical properties of them. And it turns out that Maddie understood that they were really good for renewable energy situations and all sorts of photocatalysis and discovering new exciting properties of nanomaterials. And so we had this very good collaboration, I would say. So Maddie took over a lot of calculations, did a lot of high-level calculations, developed some new ways to think about how we do our work, and would show up at my office and I'd say, no. And she'd show up again and say, no. And she'd show up again and no. And this right here, this smile kept coming. And so we've submitted a paper now. We have, I think, 2 more that are coming out of this copper oxide collaboration that we have here. But I'm happy to announce that she did a really great job, okay? She's really a great student who understands these. I sent her to several conferences. So in October, she went to Las Vegas and gave a great poster, presented her work, got a lot of excitement. And I know this because I'm friends with a lot of people at the Arizona Coding Society, and they would call me and say, that was a really good poster. But I also decided that she's really good at physical chemistry, and so I have an ongoing collaboration where I'm part of an optics school, and this optics school is strictly more physics than anything, okay? So this is as far from chemistry as you can get. I said, Maddie's the one to go. So she had an opportunity in January. She went down to this optics school, gave a presentation, a poster at this optics school, and walked out of there with their first place grand prize winning poster. So I'm very proud of that moment. Very proud of Maddie, and I want to say, although she's an excellent physical chemist, she is now taking all this knowledge she's gained from the physical properties of small clusters and molecules, and she's now going to start a PhD program in oceanography at UConn. So congratulations, Maddie. This is a very well-deserved award.
So our next award is the Future of Arizona in Research Program Award. So these are scholarship awards that are presented in partnership with the Department of Physics and the college to support the next generation of STEM students by broadening their experiences and ensuring an outside the classroom component to their development, generally involving research experiences. So we have 2 winners this year. The first one is Eddie Vega Beltran, and it will be presented by Professor Judith Klein-Sieferman.
Hello again. Just like Parth, Eddie was enrolled in my BCH 341 class, but not this year, but last year. So you can see a physical chemistry class, an excellent source of students, wonderful students. Eddie stood out immediately as a highly motivated, hardworking, diligent, and creative solution-oriented student. And needless to say, he received an A in the course. But that's not all I have to say about Eddie and BCH 341. My own PhD was on the visual photoreceptor rhodopsin, and I use rhodopsin frequently as an example in the BCH 341 class. At the completion of the class, Eddie handed me a hand-painted picture of rhodopsin he had made for me as a gift. that was truly an emotional moment for me. When Eddie then expressed an interest in research in my lab, I of course thought of the FAIR Fellowship Program, which requires a minority student with interest in chemistry and material science. And since we don't really do material science in my lab, I joined forces with Professor Elifini, who is a material scientist in the School of Engineering, with whom we had published a paper on asphalt and the health effects of asphalt. So in my lab, Eddie has studied these health effects and has completed the biochemical and biophysical analysis of these asphalt components on adipocytes, so fat cell differentiation in tissue cultures. And we are in the process of submitting a publication to Science Advances on this work. And Eddie is now working on the materials aspects in Ellie's lab. So this all he does while he is taking classes, of course, and working many hours as a clinical research officer at a company, Celerion, which is a clinical testing lab company, and more recently at Honor Health as well. And by the way, he is a finalist in the 2024 Hispanic Scholarship Fund program. Thank you very much.
So our other winner of the FAIR Scholarship / Award is Canton Cheatham, excuse me, and this award will be presented by Professor Scott Sayers.
Okay, so my great pleasure. Now I get to present an award to Cameron. So Cameron joined my lab about 6 months ago. He transferred to ASU, and since then has been getting straight A's. He's been crushing all of his courses, doing a great job. I'm very interested in doing some physical chemistry experiments, ultra-fast lasers and such. And so he approached me, we talked about it. I have a brand new project we started in my lab where we're gonna take these gas phase molecules and we started to put them on surfaces. So this took this giant, expensive piece of equipment that I have to be honest, I don't remember how to turn on anymore. And I gave it to Cameron and I said, go do this. So he went down and started to perform some experiments. We have almost no data on this project, but we have an opportunity, of this conference that I could send him on and he could go and do this. And so I have this poster that we made that just describes the technique, what we're planning to do. And he's been on this project for like 3 months with no graduate student role model or anything. And he took it over and he understood this project, went to the conference, and I get people that sent me these photos. Like, this is the conference that has, your top tier graduate or undergraduate students from all over the country, all the best institutions. And I get a picture sent to me with him at this poster surrounded by people. He pulled them in from all over the place. Everybody wanted to hear what Cameron had to say. So that kind of talks about the student that he is. In only a few months, he took over this project, took it over to a point where he could tell people about it and get people excited. And the last thing I want to say is that we also decided for this project, we're going to do something really fancy called temperature programmable thermal deposition chemistry. It's complicated stuff. And I looked up, how much does that instrument cost? Oh, $500,000. Great. We figured out how to do it for about $50. So now we're making this instrument and we're going to put that into a journal of educational something somewhere soon. So this is, Cameron's pretty good engineering mind to him, I guess, and a very good, a lot of charisma. So Cameron, it's been a pleasure having you in the group. Congratulations.
Don't go too far, Cameron. So our next award is the Royal Society of Chemistry Certificate of Undergraduate Excellence Award. This annual award program allows nomination of an outstanding student to receive recognition from the Royal Society of Chemistry, obviously an English thing, along with a physical prize in the form of either a Merck Index book or a voucher for Royal Society of Chemistry affiliate membership. So additionally, awarded students will be invited to attend a live virtual training event on publishing that's hosted by experts from top journals, participants will receive a science certificate of completion to demonstrate their scientific publishing knowledge and to support their future academic path. So all recipients will receive a digital certificate, a physical certificate, and will be included in the online list of award winners. Nominees, in order to be nominated for this, must be within the top 5 to 10% of their class in subject-specific and overall coursework. And I am proud to see Cameron receiving this award. He was a top student in my analytical chemistry class this last fall. Asked good questions and just was brilliant on the exams and homework. So I'm very pleased to see you receiving this award this year. So next we have the Barry Goldwater Scholarship. This scholarship is one of the oldest and actually most prestigious national scholarships in the natural sciences, engineering, and mathematics in the United States. It seeks to identify and encourage and financially support college sophomores and juniors who really show exceptional promise in becoming our nation's next generation of research leaders in their respective fields. So we actually have 2 award winners, Goldwater Scholarship winners at ASU this year. The first winner is Timothy Chase, and the award will be presented by Professor Timothy Long.
Well, I just Googled how many Google scholarships, or I'm sorry, I just Googled how many Goldwater scholarships there are in the nation, 400, right? So we're very fortunate to have 2 here today. And Timothy is one of those exceptional students. In fact, I could probably give all my comments in one word, and that's exceptional. And I could just drop the mic right here, right? He came to me, I think the first summer after his first year. He's studying a BS in chemical engineering. He said, I want to do research, and he was working with Kyoto University. We had a program reaching out to Japan, and Timothy was hoping to go there. Well, that was 2021, and we all know we were wearing masks right at that particular time, so that stopped. But fortunately, Timothy stayed, right? And he's had an amazing impact on my research group, and I use the word amazing. His parents are here, so I'm going to tell you everything great about Timothy. He's exceptional, right? He's studying how we use nature's building blocks to construct next generation materials. So these are nucleobases, and we only have 4 of them. And he's using those with organic chemistry that he never did before he got to my group. He came in the first summer. I go, have you ever had organic chemistry? He goes, no, I've never had that. I go, well, is that a problem? No, come on, let's do it, right? So now, about 2 weeks ago, he gave his Barrett Honors, kind of thesis presentation. And I think he did more molecular reactions than I've ever done in my entire career, right? I've never in my entire career had a Goldwater scholar, and that's 30 years, right? He's exceptional. And we're so fortunate to have him at ASU. And I guarantee you, when he leaves this campus, he's going to make a mark. There's no doubt in my mind. Before I give the award, congratulate you, Timothy. And I won't tell any stories about his lecture in New Orleans at the National ACS meeting. Some of those stories have to stay in New Orleans. But he gave an amazing lecture on the national stage already. He's already published papers. He's just an amazing junior student here at ASU, right? Behind every good student is a great mentor, is a great graduate student. And I asked Charlotte just to make a quick comment, maybe a quick story about Timothy. So, Charlotte.
Well, first of all, I just want to say how proud I am of you, Timothy. I met him my first year as a graduate student, so he's been with me through it all, and I think he'll continue with me to the end. It's been a great relationship that we've grown together. And I guess a funny story is about a week ago, Timothy defended his Barrett Honors thesis, and we are working on a polymer with nucleobases incorporated into it for enhanced properties. And I told him, wouldn't it be funny if you painted on the back of your head the structure of cytosine? And a few days later, he shows up, and indeed he has painted the structure of cytosine in the back of his head. I have a picture of it. And that really just speaks to his character. He's so devoted to what he works. what he works for, and he is just a light in our lab. So congratulations.
So our second Barry Goldwater Scholarship recipient that ASU is very pleased to have in our ranks is Leslie Bustamante Hernandez, and this award will be presented by Esther Borges Florsheim.
Hi again. Well, I already introduced Leslie, and thanks, Professor, for already introducing about this award. I had no idea what this award was actually because I didn't go to school in the U.S. So to me, this was completely unknown. And then when I told my friends, I was at Yale University before here. So I told my previous mentor and my friends, I was like, oh, my undergrad got this award. And like, oh, which award? Oh, this Barry Goldwater. They're like, what? Your undergrad got a Goldwater STEM fellowship? I was like, yeah. They're like, oh, and then they explained to me what this was. So congratulations, Leslie. This is apparently a really big deal that I was not aware of when we even applied for. So I think that speaks highly of Leslie more than anything. So just to continue my story about Leslie, she decided to study immunology, and not only immunology, but she's at the interface of immunology, neuroscience, and animal behavior. So that means that you need 3 disciplines at once to do the project that she's doing. And that means that she has to learn all the techniques in immunology, in animal behavior, and in neuroscience. And she is doing all of that. So whoever comes to my lab will probably get trained with Leslie because she's probably the person in my lab to know a variety of all the techniques. I think she knows all the techniques that we run in my lab at this point and would be the person to train most of them. She's an incredible colleague, incredible mentor to the newer undergraduate students that are coming, even though she's still on her 3rd year. So I hope her future is really bright, and I hope this award means something to some of you. I think my advice to most of you, and I said that to Leslie, is like, don't leave this external validation to determine your self-worth. If you never get any award from now on, that's totally fine. It's not that should determine and for the ones who are here who never got an award, that's fine too. But don't feel guilty because this feels really good. So enjoy.
Okay, so this is a point in the ceremony where I was supposed to turn this over back to Professor Rai to continue the ceremony. But I was informed just a few minutes ago that she needed to leave, and so I will continue things. So it might get a little bumpy, but bear with me here. So our next part of this ceremony are the faculty and teaching awards. And first up, we're going to present our distinguished teaching awardees. These are outstanding students who served as teaching assistants in the School of Molecular Sciences. So what I will do, we have a good number of these students, about a dozen or so. So I will call each student's name, and I'll ask you to come up to the front in the order that you are called, and you will receive a certificate as you come up, and then we'll all gather together on the stage for a group photo. And by the way, for those of you that don't really know what teaching assistants do, I guess first and foremost, they have a lot of patience because they have to deal with a lot of undergraduate students that aren't necessarily the most patient, the most cooperative, and are often demanding. And of their graduate student mentors, they often kind of demand more out of their teaching assistants than they do of the professor. And so to receive one of these awards means that you have really become good at what you do, that you understand students and can reach them and have an important impact on their lives. So thank you for what you do. So I'll just start at the top of the list. These look like they're in alphabetical order by last name. So our first Distinguished Teaching Assistant Award winner is Zachary Clayton. He's coming up, Zachary. Congratulations. We have Jen Daw. Please come up. and Kira DeVore. Janine Elfarana. Roman Fabry. Edgar Ferrer. Riley James. Sunit Kale. Patrick Kelly. Aria Loloi. Emily Nystrom, who's not able to attend, and Madison Sobel. And finally, Eric Stahl. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you very much for your outstanding service this year. Right, so we are now going to move on to the Instructional Service and Outstanding Instructor Awards. So our first award in this category is the Instructional Service Award, and this year's winner is Beatrice Smith. So I'd like to say a few words about Beatrice as she's coming up. Come on up, Beatrice. Well, these words are mostly provided by Professor Ron Briggs. SMS is pleased to present this award to you, Beatrice, for your invaluable work in coordinating our general chemistry laboratory program, supervising and mentoring over 50 laboratory instructors each semester, managing curriculum for over 2,500 students per semester, and for your tireless work revamping our instructional teaching labs, which has been a lot. So as a lab manager for the largest instructional program in the School of Molecular Sciences, Beatrice's efforts are vitally important to the teaching mission of our school and ASU in general, really. It's sometimes easy to overlook these efforts because the lab program that Beatrice manages runs so smoothly, which that kind of thing often gets taken for granted. But behind the scenes, Beatrice coordinates with faculty and staff on pedagogy and implementation. She manages personnel and student issues and contributes a vital voice to the management of our general chemistry program as a whole. For over 10 years now, Beatrice has overseen changes to our 100-level lab curriculum, making it more dynamic and engaging while simultaneously reducing administrative overhead and overall costs. So these efforts have been particularly challenging over the past year as the school navigated a $60 million renovation to our Physical Sciences Center, which included an ambitious redesign of the general chemistry labs that currently serve over 5,000 students each year. You can get an idea for the throughput that we have going on and what Beatrice is doing. So as our original undergraduate laboratory rooms were designed in the 1960s, a very long time ago, they were no longer adequate really to support the tremendous growth in student enrollment or the significant changes in pedagogy that have been implemented in some recent years. So this renovation project provided us with the unique opportunity to design a facility that supports the way we teach rather than force out updated curricula into antiquated facilities. So Beatrice has worked quite tirelessly to ensure its success, despite countless obstacles that have come up along the way. So now that we have secured new facilities, Beatrice is already hard at work developing new, innovative investigations to perform in them. She briefly outlined these plans at the recent biennial conference on chemical education, and we look forward to seeing what she accomplishes over the next year in support of the success and the retention of our students in the largest program within the School of Molecular Sciences. So congratulations, Beatrice. So next we'll move on to the Outstanding Instructor Award. This year's winner is Tim Lamb. Come on up, Tim. will say a few words. So again, most of this commentary was provided by Professor Ron Briggs. So Tim has been an invaluable member of our general chemistry team for over a decade now. As one of our senior instructors, he helps to supervise and coordinate recitation and lab programs for, again, over 5,000 students every year, handling the extra responsibilities in an exceptionally competent and professional manner. He is as highly regarded by his peers and the instructors and teaching assistants he supervises as he is by the students that he teaches. So students describe him as helpful and knowledgeable with the ability to break down difficult concepts in ways that make them easy to understand, which is pretty important. He has a genuine passion and enthusiasm for teaching that comes through every time he steps into the classroom and every time he interacts with his colleagues. So Tim is also the consummate team player, which I can definitely vouch for, with a long history of working collaboratively to implement new innovative ideas in our 100 level courses. He is always willing to volunteer for new projects, step in at the last moment when urgent issues arise, and contribute his ideas to improving the student experience. So over the past year, he has been instrumental in facilitating our transition to the new instructional teaching labs in a variety of roles that range from room design to training TAs in the new learning technology that we have. So despite heavy administrative and teaching roles, he also found time to assist with various student success initiatives, such as the Early Start program, Fall Welcome, and instructor-led discussion sessions. He's also led tours of our new facilities for the public and VIP visitors, and has collaborated on new active learning activities that are shared by several other faculty members. So in fact, it's difficult to identify any facets of our general chemistry program that doesn't have Tim's fingerprints all over it. So no SMS instructor has won the Outstanding Instructor Award more than once, until now that is. So Tim is well deserving of this honor, and we look forward to his continued contributions to the success of our students and the School of Molecular Sciences. Congratulations, Tim. Okay, so I was going to invite Tiana back at this point, but we'll just continue here. So I would like now to ask the Student Association of the American Chemical Society, or the SACS, student representatives to come up and present something known as the DMSO Award.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bianca Obando. I'm the president of SACS on campus, and join with me is Ron Johnson, our vice president, and Criswell Marino, our secretary, and congratulations to both of them. And just quickly, because we're the last presenters, I'd like to say congratulations to everybody that's won awards so far. A lot of my, friends and classmates have won, and past TAs and even current TAs have won awards today, so that's really exciting. But, more importantly, I'd like to note that we are really excited and very honored to present this award to Dr. Redding. There was a lot of deliberation between us as a team and with our members, but the choice was very clear that Dr. Redding was the best for the DMSO award. Dr. Redding's passion for the field of biochemistry is evident in the way that he teaches. His energy and enthusiasm in the classroom promote a positive and exciting learning environment. He has been very open to helping students whenever they are in need of support in the classroom. As members of the student affiliates of the American Chemical Society, we are proud to announce Dr. Redding as a DMSO winner for the school year.
I should also mention that Professor Redding will also receive an engraved plaque as the chosen recipient of this award. So that'll coming soon, Kevin. All right, so that wraps up our scholarship and awards program for today. Tiana had some closing remarks, which I'll try to briefly summarize here. So those who are on the scholarship committee who are in attendance, please stand up to receive some recognition. Please, let's give them a round of applause.